And right now, for Patrick Mahomes, I mean, let's face it, 5-5 is not where they're expected to be, right? But they have 7 games left, which means they could be 12-5, and I wouldn't put anything past this team. Now, we've been saying that for a little longer than I thought we might.
They're the 9th seed. Right now, they are 9 in the AFC.
Little side on that one. I think they make the playoffs.
You're just kind of making bets with me. You're trying to,
I'm
come here all night.
Why not?
You wouldn't be worried, though, if you were.
I certainly would not. I think that they go back to work. They go back and do what they do. That is a tough place. Go into Denver. You play that defense. They come out. It's the top pass rush team in all of football.
Right.
And your quarterback is under fire a little bit. Kansas City Chiefs, I don't know if they're going to make it or not, but would I be panicked and doing something crazy or change? I wouldn't at all.
The margin for error is shrinking for them as we get deeper in the season. We'll see them against Houston. He's making that face telling me they're going to be fine.
They're going to be fine.
Welcome to the pod. Welcome to Brian's World. I am your host, the ambassador of Kansas City. Kansas City's favorite son, Brian B. Shynin. And I'm so glad and blessed that you're here with me, enjoying this special pod. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna waste your time. Make sure that you tap in with my folks at Foolish Club Media so you can rate, subscribe, and review all at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube. And of course, while you're at YouTube, you better tap into the Brian B. Shynin YouTube page at B. Shynin. And you can check out all my hustle and shine in the morning content, mixes, beats, my motivational minutes. I got a ton of stuff. Everything you can find on the Brian B. Shynin YouTube page at B. Shynin. This week in the pod, my reaction to the Chiefs' loss versus the Broncos. We are in unfamiliar territory in the Patrick Mahomes era. We'll have a lot of interesting conversations with that. Steve Spagnuolo, his name has come up in the recent coaching searches on the black market, on Twitter, on the internet. The rumor mill is flying off the wall. I hope he doesn't leave. We'll discuss that. Celebrity father. Pusha T is under fire for his comments about him not really wanting to do the dirty work. And I have a lot of thoughts about that. Plus, another week of B. Shynin's bets, and we're going to tap in with another fit check.
I want to turn attention to the Chiefs because we all know the Chiefs are in panic mode, if you will, right now. And when I watch this game, I'm noticing a trend. And I'm not going to sit up here and make excuses for Patrick Mahomes because he's not playing well, particularly himself. But when I look at the stats, week after week, it's 40 rushing yards, 50 rushing yards, 45 rushing yards. The Chiefs have not gotten anything out of their run game since Isaiah Pacheco broke his leg and hasn't been the same player since. They've been trying to lean on a guy in Kareem Hunt who is at the end of his career, and he's just not producing. I mean, today he had 13 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown, but these aren't the consistent numbers that you need to see to have a complementary run game to Patrick Mahomes and what he wants to do in the pass game. And then on top of this, I thought Travis Kelce played his best game all year. 9 catches for 91 yards, a touchdown, 10 yards of reception. When you've got a team full of Tyquan Thornton, Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and then a burner the burner is Tyquan Thornton. You've got all these opportunities and these weapons. Travis Kelce, at the end of his career, should not be your leading receiver. So again, I don't want to paint this picture that Patrick Mahomes has no help, but offensively, there's just nothing going right. And especially for Patrick Mahomes, there's nothing for him to rely on.
Honestly, I'm wondering, like y'all, how in the hell did we get here? And it's just a number of things. Execution, coaching, penalties, roster. It's a million ways you can go with it. Philosophy, play calling, whatever. And I don't know. Coming off a bye, I know we're spoiled with Andy Reid, as his record is spectacular, but I would have a problem with any team coached by whoever if they come off a bye and they have 10 penalties in the game and they looked as I guess as sloppy as the Chiefs did sometimes against the Broncos in the 22-19 loss. But is coaching becoming an issue for this team? These penalties are everywhere, and it's been a consistent thorn in the side for this team the entire year. And it's not just one group, it's all groups, offense, defense, and especially special teams, who alone have cost us 1 or 2 games by themselves. But it's just these small critical errors that the Chiefs are making that's costing them big time in these games. And to me, which is a direct result of why they're not winning these one-score games, how the Chiefs were able to do last year. Denver seemed a little more buttoned up sometimes, even though they had their own share of penalties as well. But it's like Denver just seemed to be coached a little better than what the Chiefs were in that game. And then you look at just critical little mistakes, like, for instance, a blocked extra point, which kept the score at 3 as the Chiefs took the lead. But that's the difference in the game right there. You go up 4 points, and Bo Nix all of a sudden has to score a touchdown instead of getting his team close enough for a field goal. And so it's little things like that that turns the tide of each game. Another one, at the end of the second half, when Hollywood Brown catches an out route, and instead of going out of bounds, he instead comes back in to try and make a play. And mind you, the Chiefs only had 25, 27 seconds left or so at this time with 2 timeouts. This is going towards the end of the first half. But he doesn't go out of bounds. The Chiefs have to take a timeout. Now all of a sudden you got 22 seconds left with only 1 timeout, and it changes the dynamic of the play call and what you can do. Then the next play after that, it's a false start. So instead of having the ball at the 37, the ball is now at the 32. 2 critical errors back to back that results in the Chiefs not scoring at all. And here's another thing. The Chiefs were able to, they mastered this. This is kind of like Bill Belichick kind of came up with this. And this is why the Chiefs defer the toss if they win. Because they couldn't even get the double score popping off. When you score at the end of the half and then you score at the beginning of the second half. This is why the Chiefs always kick the ball off. But they couldn't even do that this game because, one, of Hollywood Brown's mistake, or that added to them not being able to score. And then Patrick Mahomes throws an interception coming out of the half in the second half. These guys are just making mistakes that we have not seen them make and that championship teams don't make. They are costing this team big time in these games that are all of a sudden going to push this team to the brink of not making the playoffs. Another thing that's irritating about this team, and especially in that Denver game, was the fact that they were only 5 of 13 on third down conversions. And they failed to turn 3 or 4 red zone drives into touchdowns. Now, is that coaching or execution? Could be a little bit of both. But being 5 of 13 on third down is not going to cut it. Especially against good playoff teams, Super Bowl contending teams, because the Broncos is in that category now. Hate to break it to you if you're late. But I think they're the 1 seed right now in the AFC, or the Colts are the 1 seed because the Colts beat the Broncos. Whatever the case may be, they're 9-2 and first place in our division. My concern level a couple weeks ago wasn't that high. It has definitely escalated. Because these are just some mistakes that normally this team just doesn't make, especially this time of the year. 1-score games, they usually win them. Double-digit penalties, they usually don't have that. Not this time of the year. And I said on the pod last week, I'm like, okay, I'm expecting the Chiefs to just press a button and to turn it on. When clearly that's not really realistic. The Chiefs are who they are. Yes, going to Denver is a tough place to play. And yes, a divisional opponent. But did you have a sense of urgency from the Chiefs in that game yesterday? Do you feel like the Chiefs took that play to another level as previous to what we saw in the previous 3 or 4 games? I don't know if I did, but it's concerning coming off of a bye. And especially when Mahomes is not at his best and he's still not connecting consistently on these deep balls. It's like it usually takes him 2 or 3 tries to really get his rhythm right, as he was able to connect with Thornton a little later on in the game with a deep shot. But I expected Mahomes to be at his best, and he wasn't. Not all his fault, but he wasn't. That red zone interception, definitely his fault. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to force that ball in there. But that's what you get with Mahomes. Mahomes is just being him, just trying to make something happen. You could tell he was pressed. You could tell that some of the pressure was getting to him. But the thing that I don't like about that offense, we'll get to the running game in a second, which is the obvious. And we just talked about the deep ball, but it's like the Chiefs were relying on penalties to try and get some yardage out there against Denver. Yes, they were holding, they were super aggressive, but it's a struggle to get yards with this offense right now. And thank God they had 2 pass interference penalties, one with Hollywood Brown on a deep ball, one with Xavier Worthy in the first half with a deep ball to finally get us some momentum and try and get us in scoring range.